West Virginia State University, where community leaders are developed.
Experience 21st century learning. Experience friendships that last a lifetime. Experience the world through international opportunities at West Virginia State University. Experience a dynamic learning environment with over 80 areas of study, intimate class sizes, and affordable tuition. West Virginia State University. Experience the power of education.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Scott Wagner, and we welcome head softball coach Bob Allen to the program now. Thanks, as always, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on, as always, multiple times we've had you on this year. And you just got done playing in the conference tournament, where you finished as the conference runners-up. And now, as you're the conference runners-up in the tournament, and you played against West Virginia Wesleyan, what was that experience like for your team this season?
We've been rained out the last, I think, 2 years with them, maybe 3 years, and you know, they're a great softball team, but we felt like we could play with them, and we did. I mean, you know, we beat them 6-0, and they beat us 3-2 in the championship. Our legs were a little bit tired, but I'll tell you, it's a tribute to our conditioning coach, because these kids played 4 games in one day, and you couldn't tell it. I mean, they played their hearts out, and like I told you yesterday, the university should be very proud of these young ladies, because they've got great character, and they represented the school well.
Yeah, they did a terrific job, and you brought up your conditioning coach. That's something going into the season is something we talked about, you know, and it came into play especially in the tournament and over spring break. How important was that conditioning, that work that your whole team put in the off season?
Well, if as many games as we play, and we had several rainouts, but we had a couple stretches, the tournament and spring break, where we played 18 straight games. If they're not in shape, you get about halfway through that regiment of games, and they start to lose their legs, the pitchers get tired, you start losing ball games because you're not in shape. And she gets them in shape, and they know that that's what she demands, and it pays off, because when you get to game 50, 52, 53, you still got something left in your legs.
Yeah, and then as you, going back to the conference tournament, you had to play UC twice, and we talked to Kelsey about it a little bit. As from the coaching perspective, what's that like to have to play your biggest rival, a team that you know you're going to have to calm your girls down probably to make sure that they're not too hot for that game? What's that like playing UC twice in one tournament?
Well, you kind of dread it, because it's our rivalry, and everybody here wants you to win the game, and it's actually just another game. But when the kids came back from Thursday night, they were down 4-2, and then it resumed the next morning, and we're down 6-2, and we put a runner on second base, and Maddie Bess hits a home run, makes it 6-4. Then we score another run, and then Margaret Osborne hits a 3-run homer to win the game. Doesn't get any better than that. You know, last year they beat us 3 times, and every game was 1 run. So this year we came back and did a great job against them, and you know, it's always going to be a great ball game when you play UC. I don't care whether they're up or whether we're down or whatever. It's going to be a great ball game.
Yeah, and that first game, that first matchup against UC is one of the greatest games of the season. Absolutely. Now, Shepherd was a team that swept you in the regular season, gave you your first loss in the conference tournament, and you were able to get them back in the losers bracket. What was that like to get over the hump against Shepherd?
Well, when we played them in the first round, I didn't use Kelsey, because I was trying to save her as long as I could. And Sarah was just coming back off an injury, and Jade had a rough outing. We made an error, had a double play, and we made an error. They scored a couple runs. So they had us 9-0 before we even started playing ball. And it ended up, they beat us 10-6. It might have been a different ball game if I had thrown Kelsey the whole game, but you know, it worked out okay. And I think really it probably helped us when we faced them in the finals of the losers bracket because they hadn't seen Kelsey that much. I mean, I think I pitched her 2 or 3 innings. So, and she pitched a great game against them, and they have a great team too. So it was a good ball game.
Yeah, no question. And then, so going into Saturday, you know you have to win 4 games to win the championship. As a mindset of the head coach, going into there, what is your strategy? Does anything change, or do you keep things the same?
Just, you know, you just keep it the same. We had a lineup that was working. Kelsey was on fire. You know, I told her, Kelsey, I'm going to go with you as long as I can. And I had I had kind of ruled out Sarah because her arm was hurting. And I told Jade, I said, when she runs out of gas, Jade, you got to come in and finish up. Thing is, she never did run out of gas. You know, one pitch against a Wesleyan, which was down, it was a good pitch. The kid just went down and got it and took it out of the park, and she's huge. She's a big, strong girl. That one pitch, you take that back, and we might beat them 1-0. It was just a super tournament. It's probably one of the best teams I've ever had here, if not the best. I know we won the championship in 2008, but these kids, in that tournament we won, we didn't lose. In this tournament we had to come back. This is a really young team. We've got a ton of speed coming in next year. I think we'll probably have the fastest team in the conference. We just got to replace 2 power hitters in Margaret Osborne and Bobby Harper. And we got a couple kids coming in that can hit too. So the future's bright. I mean, if nobody gets hurt and we don't lose anybody to grades, this team's going to be strong next couple of years.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit about Kelsey on Saturday. She pitched every single game that day, 27 total innings. The one pitch that got hit out, you brought that up in the final game. But what was that conversation like with her? When did you decide that you were going to go with her all day?
I pretty much had my mind made up when we got there. And it was just a matter of if she could do it. And now we know she can. Now, I'm not the type coach that's going to pitch her every game the whole year long. But when it comes time, when there's no tomorrow, then she's strong enough that she can do that. And, you know, I'm sure my other 2 pitchers, when they come back next year, will be stronger than ever because they know what they got to do now. I like my pitching staff. You know, we have another pitcher coming in from Pennsylvania. She's probably more of a power hitter, but she's had 2 no-hitters this year in high school. She's got several home runs, and she's just a strong girl. So hopefully we're going to fit her in somewhere. And we're always looking for pitchers. You can't have enough of them. It was really funny. We went to the restaurant after the 4 games, and we're sitting there, and we're ordering, and the waitress came up, and she looked at Kelsey, and she said, are you in college yet? And of course, Kelsey had already won the MVP trophy and pitched all those games, but she said, are you in college yet? She just looks so young. Yeah. But I'm telling you, when you put her out there in that circle, watch out because she's after you.
All right, well, we got to take a break, Coach. We'll be right back. We'll be right back here on the Coach's Corner as we step aside for a couple of messages, and we'll continue our conversation with Coach Allen when we come back.